Moscow. Good to have you with us. Our top story this hour, a scandal brewing as Washington's stance on Ukraine may have leaked on the web. An apparent phone conversation between Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland and the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine appeared on YouTube somehow. The video allegedly showing the pair discussing how to deal with a political crisis in Ukraine. Take a listen.
So that would be great, I think, to help glue this thing and have the UN help glue it. And, you know, fuck the EU.
RT's Marina Portnoy joining us live. Tell us more about what the two discussed.
Well, what you hear during this 4-minute conversation is basically two top U.S. officials strategizing about how to form Ukraine's new government. It sounds like they're playing a game of chess with the opposition leaders as the pieces on that chessboard. They're trying to determine which opposition leader has the best economic and governing experience to work inside Ukraine's new government, and which opposition leaders should remain on the outside. It's a bit shocking to actually hear. I had to listen to it a few times to really grasp the fact that they're strategizing on how to put together the government of another country. Instead of paraphrasing everything, let's let our viewers actually take a listen for themselves.
The Klitschko piece is obviously the complicated electron here. Especially the announcement of him as deputy prime minister. And you've seen some of my notes on the troubles in the marriage right now. So we're trying to get a read really fast on where he is on this stuff. I'm glad you sort of put him on the spot on where he fits in this scenario.
So I don't think Klitsch should go into the government. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea.
In terms of him not going into the government, just let him sort of stay out and do his political homework and stuff.
I think Yats is the guy who's got the economic experience, the governing experience. He's the guy, you know, what he needs is Klitsch and Tony Book on the outside. He needs to be talking to them 4 times a week.
What was the response in Washington to the release of the video?
Well, clearly this is a highly embarrassing situation for the United States, particularly because we've been hearing U.S. officials insist for so long that they're not involving themselves into Ukraine's internal circumstance. But for the spokesperson for the U.S. State Department, she had a pretty difficult day on Thursday. Jen Psaki was put in the hot seat by journalists. One after another, reporters kept asking her why U.S. officials are interfering in Ukraine's internal problems. At one point, a correspondent, if I'm not mistaken, I think she was from CNN, said point blank that the leaked conversation shows how the U.S. is attempting to construct a new government in a sovereign country and actually bringing officials in from the UN to seal the deal. Now, Psaki said that the leaked conversation has been misunderstood. She still maintains that the U.S. believes that it's up to the Ukrainian people to decide their future and determine their path. The spokesperson said that the U.S. Assistant Secretary of State has apologized for using such profanity when referring to her allies in the European Union. Ms. Psaki also tried to make somewhat of a joke when she was in damage control mode, when she was referring to the use of profanity when it came to Victoria Nuland, the Assistant Secretary of State. Let's take a listen.
She's been in close contact with EU High Representative Ashton. Also, let me convey that she has been in contact with her EU counterparts and of course, has apologized. But
She apologized.
for these reported comments, of course.
So you're not confirming that the comments are accurate?
I'm just not going to speak to a private diplomatic conversation, Arshad, but I'm obviously speaking to the content of the reports.
What's interesting is while the spokesperson for the State Department said that Ms. Nuland apologized for using such profanity during this conversation, she wouldn't confirm the authenticity of this conversation that was taking place of 2 U.S. officials strategizing on how to actually build a new government in Ukraine.
You may know the story of how she lived on a Russian boat for about 8 months when she was 23, and she learned how to perfect perhaps certain words in a couple of languages. So perhaps it speaks to that more than a pervasive viewpoint.
You're not suggesting that she has a predisposition against Russia.
No, I was suggesting that she learned Russian curse words and curse words on
But
the
this
phishing
was,
in
boat.
this was in English.
I was making a joke
Oh,
about
okay.
her learning
Okay.
curse words on a fishing boat.
Okay.
There you see a U.S. spokesperson trying to make a joke out of a situation that is quite scandalous, quite embarrassing. Not sure if any high officials in Ukraine are laughing at this moment after they're hearing this leaked conversation on YouTube about, the United States strategizing on how to build a new government in a sovereign country.